Coming to you live from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's the Junior Kekuewa Jr. Show, starring Junior Kekuewa Jr.
Seriously, we still have this guy?
Join Junior along with the Wayne Borhe Band as he makes any kind from Hawaii.
You have no idea.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Junior Kekuewa Jr.
How you, Hawaiians? How you doing, Hawaiians? Okay. All right. Thank you, Hawaiians. Thank you very much, Hawaiians. All right, Hawaiians. Right out the door. There you go. Thank you very much. And welcome to the podcast. I'm Junior Kekuewa Jr. And we are heard in 42 states, 57 countries. And some of those countries, the last few, Turkey, Guam, New Zealand, Mexico. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. And we're going to get straight to the podcast. Okay. So today on the podcast, we are going to discuss, you're living in a simulation. Okay. You're living in a simulation. What does that mean? Like the Matrix movie? No. But first, the attitude of gratitude. Okay, we want to thank everybody tuning in. Also, we want to say that our stats, our numbers are going up. Okay, so thank you for that. Our numbers are going up, and we want you to recommend the podcast. So when you recommend the podcast, okay, just get it in your phone. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, however you get us. We're on tons of affiliates, as it were. Okay, so however you get us, right? Just take that link and text it to all your friends and go, hey, check this podcast out. Okay, there you go. All right, so that's the attitude of gratitude. Now, yes, you live in a simulation. Okay, what am I talking about? Simulation. Well, yeah. So it's not like the Matrix movie. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, but it is a simulation. Why? Because of the way that your brain works. Okay, so the simulation perspective of the human experience kind of goes like this. Okay, your brain processes signals, right? But it doesn't really experience reality directly. It interprets it. Okay, think about that again. So you think that you experience reality, right? You think that something happens right in front of you and that's real, and it's kind of sort of, it's a projection. It's a projection. Okay, so what is it? What's going on really? Well, your brain is interpreting what it sees. It's not direct reality. So what does that mean? Well, that means you have the choice. Okay, you can kind of like go with what's automatically in your subconscious. You can go with that. Okay, because that, okay, now your paradigm, when it was first established, okay, up until the time you were 7 years old, you weren't even a part of consciousness. Okay, you weren't even a thing. You were just a receiver. You were receiving information. Okay, your subconscious is like, okay, all of your senses, right, goes into your subconscious. You were receiving data until you were 7. Now, whatever happened to you, till you were 7, because I know what happened to me, and I was like, I don't want that to happen again. Anyway, but okay. So, but here's the thing, though. Okay, so everything that happened, okay, up until 7 years old, is in your initial paradigm. Okay, the paradigm that you were functioning off of, the memories, the subconscious beliefs. Okay, because your paradigm's made up of your beliefs. So let's look at the tree, the subconscious tree. Okay, so you have the roots of the tree. That's your subconscious beliefs. Okay, those beliefs form your paradigm, your attitude, the way you see the world, the way you interpret things, your perception. Okay, and then out of that comes your actions, and your actions are what bring results. Okay, so based upon your beliefs, you form your opinions. Based upon those opinions, you form your behavior. Based upon your behavior, you get results, right? Because the way you behave, your actions. If you do a good action, you can't get a bad result. If you do a bad action, you can't get a good result. Okay, but now when you get into like, okay, what's good, what's bad, that's perception. Okay, the value of money is perception. Everything is perception. Ooh, now that changes the game, right? Okay, well, kind of, sorta. Okay, because there's there's guidelines, there's rules to society. That we have to have rules. We have to have order. We have to have some kind of organization. Okay, now I'm not here to talk about politics or whatever, so we're not going to discuss that side of it. Okay, but there are rules in the world. There's a calendar we have to follow. There's a clock that we have to follow. Okay, but you're not your body. You're not your name. You're the energy that lives in your body. That's who you are. Yeah, that's who you are. Okay, so you're that spirit that lives in there. You're a spiritual being having a physical encounter, a physical experience called life. And it's short. Okay, I always say life is short. Live your dreams. You have to live your dreams. Why? Because if not, you're wasting this one time. You live this way one time, and you're going to be missing out on so many things because you're going to be under the impression that you need to do things like this. You need to do this. Life is a struggle, and then you die. Oh, life is, right? You see, Hawaiians, okay? All right, Hawaiians, I'm here to tell you, okay? I'm here to tell you in my most humble way that you need to live out loud. You need to live out loud. Okay, what does that mean? Express yourself. Express yourself. You are not less than. You are greater than. Okay, and I know people wear the shirts, right? He is greater than I. Okay, they mean God. They're talking about the superconscious. There is only the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious. So when you're talking about the superconscious is greater than you, it's the network that you're plugged into. And that network is greater than you because it involves everyone. Okay? But if you're walking around with a t-shirt and a belief system that says that you're less than anything, how do you think that's going to make you feel? Less than. There you go. There you go, Hawaiians. Boom, Hawaiians. There you go. All right? So get out of that mindset. Okay? Start believing in yourself because the kingdom is within. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. All right? This is not church. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. But that's what it is. The kingdom is within. It's inside. And that's where you get this projection from. That's where you get this simulation from. It's inside. And people wonder, why do I always not have enough money? Why do I always not have enough this? Why do I always miss out on love? How come nobody loves me or whatever, right? Whatever the circumstance. Well, it's because you didn't write it into your affirmations. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. When you do those 4 things and you aim it all at one thing, it could be love, it could be work, it could be, right? Anything. It could be relationships, right? Or it could be your career, or it could be your education level. It could be anything. So if you want to get educated, like, maybe, okay, I want a doctorate degree in astrophysics. Okay, well, do your affirmations. I am so happy and grateful now that I am enrolled in the PhD program for astrophysics. Thank you. And be specific. Name the university, whatever. It's just an example. Okay, now what do? Well, you meditate on it. You go and seek. You go into the kingdom. You go into the kingdom and meditate. What does that mean? Like you, no. Okay. I mean, you could, okay, but you don't have to do that. All you need to do is just be still. Be still and know. Roy Masters, look him up, Roy Masters. He talks about it. And he's a Christian. Not that you have to be a Christian, okay? I'm just saying he's a Christian. But he makes Christian references. So if you're, I have a lot of followers that are Christians. And so if you're more comfortable with that, then check out Roy Masters. Because he says, be still and know. Why is that like even a thing? Well, it's a thing because when you're still, you receive. You're receiving information. When you're praying, you're speaking. Okay. Not only that, but when you pray, there's this theory that you're coercing God. Why? Because you're asking God to do something. Okay. God just is. You just are. If you listen more than you speak, let's say it another way. If you meditate more than you pray. Okay, because you make intentions. That's what affirmations are. They're intentions. Affirmations is affirming something. You say, okay, this is that way. So instead of like, may I please have more money, God, you're just saying, I am so happy and grateful now that I have more money. There you go. That's an affirmation. A request. Okay, like a prayer request. Like when you go to church and they go, okay, can we have the prayer request? And they, and then they pray over it, right? That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that when you meditate, okay, that's listening for the instructions. Seek and ye shall find. That does not mean you go out in the world looking for, whatever, right? And the guys that go out looking for the right girl, you know those guys. Okay, now this is not a relationship podcast or anything. This is, but we'll do one soon. Okay, because every time I do one, it's the highest rated show. But anyway, those guys are. I'm looking for the right girl. There's no such thing as the right girl. There's no such thing as the right guy. You know where the right person is? The right person is you. You dictate it, right? Because these serial monogamous dudes, right? Well, they have to be married. They have to be in a relationship. They need a mommy. Okay, so these guys, right? They're always married. They're always in relationships. Because they always look for the right girl. Okay, that's not the right girl. Okay, break up. Go look for the right girl. Okay, this one. And then, break up. Divorce, right? Like that. Okay, so these things go in cycles. And why are they going in cycles? Why is this guy married 3 times, 4 times? Well, because he didn't change his subconscious, so it doesn't matter who the girl is. It doesn't matter, okay? So if you're with the first girl and you cheat, okay, now your subconscious is used to cheating because you didn't just cheat one time, you kept cheating, right? You kept cheating until you got caught. Then when you got caught, you got a divorce, okay, you get the next girl, and then pretty soon what? When you're getting married, it's like in the back of your head, instead of, when you say I do, like I do, right? And then the preacher asks you, okay, so instead of doing it, in the back of your head, you go, okay, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to really try with this one, right? And then pretty soon you go back to your old habits and then boom, you cheat again. Okay, and then you can't just cheat one time if you're in the habit of cheating, right? Because it's called a habit for a reason. And you cheat, busted, divorced. Okay, next girl. Now you're on your 3rd marriage. You see, okay, anyway, that's how it works. But the brain processes signals, so you experience reality through interpretation, right? So what we see, what we hear, feel, and think is filtered through layers of consciousness. How many layers? Well, the 3 principal layers. The conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. So everyone lives in their own mental simulation. Everyone. Now, you unite with other people. You bring things into their simulation, but on your own, autonomously. Okay, on your own, Hawaiians. Okay, by yourself, in your room, whatever, wherever, walking down the street. You are in your own simulation. Now you interact with other simulations. So the world is one big simulation. And then you have your simulation. You have your neighbor's simulation. And then, right? And on and on and on. Now, the conscious mind, let's look at it in an easy to understand way, okay? Because this gets pretty big. It gets pretty big because, like, it goes on infinitely. Quantum physics is showing us that we have there's not one way to something. There's not 2 ways to something. There's infinite possibilities to everything. Everything. You have to commit, and you have to commit to one thing or one way. Okay, so you commit to the direction. You don't commit to the how. You don't try to find out how. You just commit, okay, I'm gonna go pursue a job at XYZ company. And that's all you know. And that's all you need to know. You don't need to know how the job is gonna come. You just need to know the job is gonna come. And you just take the steps. Whatever that is, right? So yeah, go to HR, apply, whatever. Go to the interviews. Maybe you don't make the first round. Are you gonna give up? Well, if you give up, you won't work at XYZ company. Okay, try again. Do it again. Wash, rinse, repeat. And then what happens? Well, then the strangest things could happen. Unlimited possibilities can happen. And then what happens when that happens? Well, maybe somebody quit and it was unexpected, and just one day they go, I can't take it anymore. And they quit. And then they call you. Oh yeah, we didn't have any vacancies, but then right now we just had one opening. And then you get in. Could you have figured out that how? No, of course not. There you go, Hawaiians. Okay, so the conscious mind, let's put it all into perspective now. The conscious mind is the player of the game. Like an avatar, like a controller, right? You're controlling the avatar. Okay, so it handles logic, reasoning, okay, decision making, focus, all of that. Okay, so you're experiencing the world moment by moment through the conscious mind. Okay, but that only processes a fraction of all of the available information because there's infinite, right? There's all kinds of information. So you can think about it like it plays a part in the simulation, but it relies heavily on deeper systems for guidance. What's that deeper system? The subconscious. Okay, so the subconscious, what is that? Well, that's the operating system. Okay, so the conscious mind, right, is like the player in the game because it's in real time. It's going along in real time. It's conscious, okay, and then making decisions, choosing this, choosing that, whatever. And then those choices, right, the subconscious learns in repetition. Those choices get to be programs eventually. So the subconscious stores beliefs, habits, memories, emotional imprints. Okay, now trauma is one of those emotional imprints. Because trauma is like, okay, well, something really bad emotionally that will stick out forever, or it seems forever. You could diminish trauma, but trauma is so easily triggered, right? So it tends to come back. But you can diminish the trauma. You can minimize the trauma. You can make it controllable. How do you do that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, if that doesn't work, then yes, therapy, okay, go see somebody. Yeah, we're not here making medical claims or speaking against medical establishments or anything like that. So yeah, that's an option. If you can't control it on your own, it's an option. And that usually means something greater is wrong. Like you really have a problem. Okay, although I believe, and it's just maybe in my mind, because I've been in some very severe situations involving trauma. And I've always been able to remedy the situation ever since I've been, doing these 4 pillars. So what I'm saying is that in my mind, I believe that, okay, I can overcome anything. And I have overcome a lot. Everybody, right? Because we all have stuff in our lives. But here's the thing, right? Some people cannot get over whatever. Maybe they're too sensitive. Maybe they have an organic problem. Maybe it's just, too much. Maybe maybe drugs are involved. There's all kinds of variables. Okay, but I'm just saying, yeah. And if you believe, like say whatever your belief is, it depends on what you believe. If you believe that you can't do it, if you believe that you can't remedy this situation on your own, then yeah, you need a professional. If you believe things like, for example, let's say, for example, the world is unsafe. Oh, it's a cruel world. If you believe that, your subconscious filters information to confirm that belief. Okay. It will project it into your daily reality. It'll become your reality. Because now it's your belief. Okay, so it's going to show you evidence. Okay, the world is a dangerous place. Oh, it's an evil place. It's going to show you all the evils. And your reticular activating system in your brain, it's going to go, okay, look, see that? See that evil over there? Okay, look at that one over there. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It's just evil out there. And then you don't leave the house or whatever. I'm just saying that's extreme. I have an uncle that has this problem that I wish I could help him. Okay, he's a hypochondriac. Something's always wrong with his health. In his mind. That's what he believes. But it's in his subconscious. My mom sees it. She points it out to me. I'm like, yeah, well, I wish I could talk to uncle, but he's uncle. You see what I mean? Okay, so I can't do that. I would like to. Okay, but uncle loves doctor's offices, right? And like I said, I'm not demonizing the medical community. I'm just saying what is. And so he goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And they see it. They know. Right? Well, here he comes again. Okay, how can I help you? And it goes in circles. It keeps going. Because because his subconscious keeps feeding him the same program. He's living in that simulation. I'm not living in the simulation. My mom's not living in the simulation. Other people, nobody I know is living in that simulation. Just him. It's just his. That's all. Because everybody's got their own, right? I'm just saying that I don't know anybody that's like that. So there you go, right? Poor thing. Really, poor thing. I feel sorry for him because I love him. And I'm like, I can't help him. So whatever it is you believe, okay? Now, that's the subconscious's job. Okay, so two people in the same situation, you could be in the same situation, like at work, like at your job. You guys can be in the same situation and have totally different experiences. You can listen to the same lecture and walk away with a different impression, a different perception. Because you're all running different programs. You can listen to this podcast. You could share this podcast with your bestie, and both of you will walk away with different information and a different way of looking at it and a different way of looking at me. One of them might go, oh, wow, Junior, he's got a problem. He needs counseling. He needs a shrink. He's way out there. But no, actually, I understand this. And I understand the bigger picture. But you see, we don't seek to understand the bigger picture, right? Because we just care about what's happening to us. We want to deal with whatever we have to deal with and then move on. And then, right? Okay, I'm just a big picture person. I look at the big picture. Let's look at the big picture. Some people are like, oh, you're exploding my brain. I can't look at the big picture. I can't understand that part of it. I don't want to look at it, right? I don't want to think about it. Okay, so you have choice. You have freedom of choice. This podcast is to open your mind. This podcast is to go, oh, yeah, maybe I can check that out. Okay. So the superconscious. Now let's get to the superconscious. What does that do? It's the source. Okay. Higher intelligence. It's God. It's Jesus Christ. It's Allah. It's whatever you believe in that department. Your higher self. Your higher source. Okay. It's all of that. Your higher power. The superconscious is like the network server, okay, or source code of the simulation. It connects individuals to universal intelligence, creativity, intuition, and higher guidance. You were born with infinite knowledge, Hawaiians. You guys were born with infinite knowledge. But you have been conditioned to believe that the only knowledge there is in the library, online, in books. Okay, books are good. Books are really good. But you know what? Where do you think those books came from? Okay, they came from someone else's in here, and I'm pointing to my brain, in here. Okay. The only thing out there is nature and things from someone else's in here. Because the kingdom is within. When you go into the kingdom, you'll get the answers. There was this famous author. His name escapes me right now. I forgot who the author was. Like it wasn't Mark Twain, but this other author. When he needed a book, when he needed money, he used to call upon infinite intelligence. And he used to say, I need a book. I need some money. I need a book. Write me a book. And the ideas would come, and he would write it down, and it would be a bestseller. That's how he did it. Now, whether it was fictional or not, I don't know. Maybe it was a story, but people were interested in it. It resonated with people. Why? Well, because it came from infinite intelligence. It came from God. Now, when you start making statements like that in this day and age, people think you're crazy. Oh, no, God told me to do this. God told me to do my Facebook account, okay? And when I did my Facebook account, now I have over 50,000 followers. I started with like less than 5. I started with, I don't know, like I had 4,000 something, and then all of a sudden I got this intuitive idea, right? And it's like, no, just go, just do this. And so I started posting what I'm posting, doing what I'm doing, and then boom, the floodgates open, and then boom, 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 but everybody started coming. Build it and they will come. But you got to build the right stuff. Who tells you that? Who's better authorized to tell you that than God? Or let's say infinite intelligence, or let's say Jesus Christ, or let's say the network, let's say source, let's say universe, however you want to put it, okay? But there you go. All right, that's the superconscious. It connects individuals to universal intelligence. It connects all of us into that. So you were born with it, right? But you need to learn how to access it. Do you think the systems in place want you to access that? You wouldn't need them. You need to learn, like if you want to be a doctor, okay, yeah, you got to learn that. Pharmacist, yeah, you got to learn that. Dentist, yeah, you got to learn that. But other things, when it comes to life decisions, when it comes to how to raise your children, I see guys, men, walk into like Walden Books, walk into like bookstores, right? There used to be this bookstore in Ala Moana, this shopping center where I live in Hawaii, and these guys used to buy books on being a father, and I'm like, okay, well, but it was somebody else's idea on how to be a father, the author's idea, and what qualifies him? Well, he went to college and he got a PhD and whatever. Okay, I have my views on that too. Okay, because when you spend all that money, you're committed. And when you get that diploma, okay, that's your validation. Without that, right? What? So you begin to think that because you have a degree, you're validated. Okay, look, you don't need a degree to be validated. You are validated. When you connect with God, you don't need anything to validate you. When you're connected to the superconscious, when your conscious mind makes the decision to put into your subconscious that the superconscious is real, that it exists, that you can download from it, that you can be a part of it, that you are embraced by it, that you belong to it. You don't need a degree. I help a lot of people with degrees, like a lot. And God bless them. They're good people. And I love them. I get to love like a lot of them. Because I love what they do and who they are and the difference that they make in society. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with them, their degrees, their college experience. They're brilliant people. But they tend to overlook the superconscious. Because basically, they rely a lot on their conscious mind. The 80,000 thoughts a day. Whatever gets, in the repetition cycle goes into the subconscious. Okay, but then, and then that's where you get the, well, I think I need to learn how to. Well, where do we find how to? Well, it's in a book. Okay, let's go to the bookstore. Where's the origin of the book? Well, the author learned this stuff in college. Okay, well, who taught the author? Well, the professor. Where did he learn it from? Well, he got it from these other books. Where did that come from? Well, they were written by these guys, and you see, it just goes back and back and back and back and back. And when you trace it all the way to its origin, what is it really? Well, it's a little observation. It's a little notation. It's a little trial and error. It evolves over time. It passes through several hands and several classrooms and several universities and several trials and several publications and several, you see? Now, why can't you just go within and get the information? Why can't you just function by intuitive thought? Just intuitive thought. Just go inside, go in your center, whatever you want to call it. Go into the kingdom. The kingdom is within. Go inside and sit still and listen for instructions. Then ask questions and you'll get more answers. There you go, Hawaiians. Okay. Now, how does the brain project reality? Okay, so your brain acts like a VR headset, okay? Virtual reality, okay? And this is what they're showing you. What they're showing you with virtual reality, they go, here, this is how your brain works. They're showing you. AI, you know what AI is going to do? It's just going to show you the inner workings of your mind. It's going to take all your data. Why? Because you're using it. You're programming AI. Everything you do online programs AI. And then what? Well, then it has a consensus. Then it gathers all kinds of data. And not only that, but it's memorizing you. It might even create an avatar for you. One day the world may be avatar-ish, and you'll be gone. But you'll still be here. Your avatar will be here. It will be eternal, just like your energy. And you'll come back, maybe in a different form. Look up metempsychosis. It's a thing. It's a theory, so maybe, maybe not. But this is where we're headed, okay? This is where we're headed. So your contribution to society is everything is documented. It's going to be documented. It's all going to be put together. There's going to be an avatar that will represent you long after you're gone. There will be information left by you. Okay, you talk about the book of life. The book of life, okay, so religious people know what I'm talking about. The book of life. But now you have an actual record of the book of life. You don't have to wait until you die. You can actually go research yourself on AI. When I put my name into AI, right? Like I see all these things I did, like all the work I did, all the stuff I did, the reviews, whatever, everything. And I go, wow. So sometimes I have to remind myself, yeah, you need to keep building this. You need to keep building on that. You need to keep developing that. Because I go into AI and I go, okay, who am I? And it shows me. And whatever I'm deficient in, I go, okay, I think I need to build on that. Or sometimes when I put, my name and then philosophy, and I see some of my outdated philosophy because my mind changes, I evolve. And then I go, oh yeah, okay. So now, right, there's, it's been modified in my mind. So I'm like, okay, well, let me build on that part. Or that's not really how I feel now. Let me modify that. Let me evolve that. Let me turn that into my new belief or my new idea. Because the world changes. If you're stuck, that means you don't change. That means you're stubborn. That means you're fixed. That means no matter what, you're not budging. You stay with that perspective, and it's not going to change. But the rest of the world is changing. And now, because you're stuck, you don't fit. Or you don't fit as well. Or you fit with a lot of friction. and that makes life hard. That makes your existence unpleasant. So now, how does the brain work in this scenario? How is it more, how does it affect your simulation thing? Well, the brain, you have neurons. Okay, and these neurons process the incoming signals. So everything sensory, right? What you see, what you hear. But the meaning is assigned by the mind. The meaning is defined in your subconscious beliefs. The subconscious provides filters. The conscious focuses attention. And the superconscious offers a higher perspective, a world view, if you will, or a universal view. What you expect to see, feel, experience is often the brain projecting into perception. Okay, confirmation bias, placebo effect, all of that. All of it. And in that sense, reality is not out there in a fixed way. There is no out there. There is only in here. The kingdom is within. It's within you. It's within me. Everybody has a kingdom, their own kingdom. God is a part of that kingdom. But only if you access it. Only if you go inside and seek, then you will find. Knock and the door will open. You knock on the door within. You don't knock on somebody like your neighbor's door, because then you're going to get another simulation. Like, hey, come on in. Like, right? And then now you're joining or engaging with whatever they're talking about. Okay? Now you're in their simulation. Now you're enjoying a little bit of their world. Okay? So there you go. There is no out there. Okay? It's only co-created inside the brain. Co-creation. Okay? You are a co-creator with God, guided by consciousness. Because you get that intuitive thought, and sometimes you follow it, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get a bright idea and you trust your idea. Sometimes you get an idea and you go, no, that's crazy. And then you let it go. I'm here to say, trust your crazy ideas, Hawaiians. Trust your crazy ideas. Okay, so, just to summarize, okay? Just to go over it one more time. Conscious mind, that's the player with a controller. Subconscious, operating system, okay? That stores your programs. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. When you believe it, it becomes a program. The superconscious is your cloud network. Think of it that way. It's a cloud. It's the cloud. Everything is stored in the cloud, right? Okay. So this technology that we're seeing, okay, is a physical manifestation of everything within. Think about it. Think about it. Infinite intelligence. Why? Because all of this information goes into the cloud. And guess what? Guess what the cloud has in it? It has in all the information over time. All of humanity's information is in the cloud. Consciousness. It gets uploaded into consciousness. Do you have access to that cloud? Yes, you do. Napoleon Hill talks about it in Think and Grow Rich. It's called the mastermind. The mastermind group. You can form it with people who are living or dead. Like, okay, I know what you're thinking. Dude, that's witchcraft. That's voodoo. That's black magic. No. It's you're super conscious. You just have to go with it. Just try. Pick somebody and address them and ask questions. But you have to be still, and you have to practice this process for a while, okay? It's not going to happen on the first time. Because your conscious mind keeps going. Your thoughts keep going. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Pretty soon when it starts slowing down, boom, boom, boom. Now it's controllable. There you go. Now you can focus on the superconscious. Now you can allow that infinite knowledge to come through. And then what happens? Then you get answers. You should trust your crazy ideas. Trust intuitive thought. Okay, I always give you guys scenarios, so I'm not going to give you scenarios on intuitive thought, but intuition, it's the voice of God, if you will. It's the voice of the cloud. It's the voice of infinite intelligence. It's the voice of your creator. It's also the voice of the collective consciousness. Everyone that has ever lived, anyone that has ever done. Try it. Okay, so I don't know how to do things. I don't know how. And I'm not concerned with the how, because I believe in God. And because I believe, and because that's my belief, that's how I learned to play the guitar. I'm like, okay, I'll just put it in my hands, and then And as I show some people this. I show it to them in real time. I say, look, this is how I do. This is how I learn. Watch. And I just, and then I go, nope, because I'm speaking out loud. But I'm speaking to God in real time. And I'm like, no, that's not it. And then boom, boom, boom. And then pretty soon, boom, there it is. And I'm like, wow, it came out. I do it in real time. Because God was the only thing I had when I was a kid. I was an only child. When I got grounded, I had to go to my room. I didn't have anything. We didn't have tech. I couldn't text my friends. I couldn't FaceTime anybody. There was no FaceTime, right? The only FaceTime I had was in the mirror, and I made good use of it too. Yeah, I used to practice comedy routines and stuff. And then when I got to be an adult, I did it for real, and it made money. So I was rewarded for the investment of time. And you only have so much time always, okay? Don't waste your time. So the simulation, right, is real. You live in a simulation. They made a movie. Yeah, they show you movies. Oh, Hollywood's cool, right? Yeah, Hollywood. Okay. Yeah, that's Hollywood, right? That's the movies. Really cool. But you have your own. Because God is real. You have your own simulation operating in real time. Because God is real. Because you're bigger than you think. You are not less than. In many respects, you are greater than. What are you greater than? Well, you're greater than dogs. You're greater than horses. You're greater than cows. They only have a limited experience and they cannot observe themselves. Cannot. They're in a simulation too. They're in their own simulation, but it's limited. Their simulation is very limited. Your simulation is unlimited. Okay? It's unlimited. Quantum physics is proving it to us. It's showing us, like, look, we're up to the 10th dimension. They're up to the 10th dimension that they can prove. They can prove 10 dimensions. That's it. And what did Einstein show us? Well, number one, that time was an illusion. There is only this one long now. Okay, so when you were born, you've been given a now. Like, okay, here you go. Here's your now. Okay, now, some babies make it to 80, 90, 100. And some babies have to leave us. So if God exists, why do people have to die? Why do we have disasters and people die? Well, if you understand energy and look at it from the energetic perspective, that everything is energy, and you get away from this emotional ties to things, okay, emotional tie. When you're attaching to something, I love that baby. That's my baby. I love that, right? That kind of thing, right? So we're attached. We're humans. We have feelings. Okay, we're attached. But if you look at it like energy, it's like a video game, right? You get so far in the game and boom, you get shot. Or you get whatever, your car crashes or whatever game you're playing, right? I'm just saying. Or you're playing Call of Duty and pretty soon, boom, you're gone. And then what happens? Well, the game resets. And then what? Then you're back in the game. Ooh, reincarnation. Interesting concept. So does it matter? Okay, if you knew that you was going to come back, if you knew that, okay, when this is done, I wake up from the dream and then boom, I'm back in and I get to do it all over again. Or I get to do a different one. I get to be a different avatar. You know, you're in the video game. Okay, now you can choose, right? Okay, switch avatar. All right, try this one now. Boom. Then you're back in the game. Does it work that way? I don't know. I'm just saying, okay? All right? But I'm just saying that the stuff I've learned tells me that that's possible. And it's not about the individual. It's about consciousness. It's about us as a species. It's about the Homo sapiens. It's about the Homo sapien experience. Everything you experience goes into the cloud. Everything you do goes into the cloud. So what does that suggest? That suggests that God is playing the guitar through you. That suggests that God is making the speeches through you. That suggests that God is experiencing being a CEO through you. That suggests that God is experiencing being the doctor through you. Oh, different meaning now. Different. So there's the body and the spirit. All right, this is not church. I just want to preface this, okay? But follow me. There's the body and the spirit. There's that energy that lives in your body. That's not the body. It lives in the body. It operates the body, but it's not the body. It's not physical. It's spiritual. If you believe like that. So let's say for our discussion purposes, everybody's on the same page. Now follow me. There's the body and there's the spirit. The spirit cannot sin. The spirit cannot be corrupted. The body can be corrupted. You could drink alcohol. You could do drugs. You could do whatever. And you can totally wreck your body. You could work too hard. You can burn yourself out. You can totally wreck your body. But you can't wreck your spirit. Because people lying in hospital beds that have wrecked their bodies are very much aware. They're lying there. They feel the pain. They're going through pain. Some of them, hopefully, they get meds that alleviates the pain. But they're aware. You know? And some of them don't know why this happens. Well, you know what? When you're angry, when you live angry, when you live like that, you get sick inside. It acts out in different ways, okay? So it's not just the fact that you purposely ran it too hard, okay? It's not just that. There's all kinds of variables, okay? But I'm just saying that when the time comes, or if the time comes where you have worked too hard, or you have been angry too long, and it's some kind of disease. Now it's some kind of dis-ease. You're going to be aware inside because you're separate from it. Although you may not think so. You may not see it that way. But Gautama Buddha said this. He said, the man that views life as an illusion escapes suffering. Ah, illusion, simulation. Related? Check them, Hawaiians. Check them. There you go. Right? If you see it as an illusion, if you're looking at this life like a simulation, you escape the suffering. Why? Well, it's only a simulation. Your reality is controllable by you. You get to dictate your reality. You get to put into your subconscious what you want. And your subconscious is ordered to obey. It has to obey. Then what? Then it starts showing you stuff, right? Okay, it shows you confirmation. Slowly, it builds, but you have to stay on it. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. And then what happens? Then your life starts to change. And you go, whoa. Okay, it happened to me. My life started changing. I was like, whoa, all I did was write down stuff. Okay? But really, it works. Okay? So try it. Try it, Hawaiians. Oh, I gotta go. Okay. Hey, that's another podcast. Hey, we want to thank Voice Master Enterprises, family of service companies, for all their money, because they keep putting up money for this stuff. Thank you, Voice Master. Also, thank you to AFM Hawaii Music and Darren Chinen. Yeah, you can get his music on iTunes. It's all over the world. Darren Chinen. Okay? Check it out. Go to afmhawaiimusic.com. Till next time, I'm Junior Kekuewa Jr. Say mahalo and aloha.